give you a quick tour. I know we got some new coaches, so I thought I would provide a tour of the Performance Hub, which has become a bit of our de facto athlete management system here at the university, and wanted to give you a quick tour so that way, kind of knock out an introduction without having to deliver it multiple times and give everyone an idea of how that has changed and evolved over time so that you can keep up to speed with your athletes' performance, etc. So the first thing you want to do is you may already be in athletics, in the channel athletics. So you want to probably go to all teams, and then that's where you can find the Performance Hub. So you go ahead and click the Performance Hub, and in the general, this is just kind of general stuff. You're going to see just little announcements, things like that. And then up in the top, you're going to see our annual plan. And right here is the 2022-2023 annual plan. And you're going to see the 2023-2024 annual plan coming shortly. But basically, this gives you an idea here of what your athletes are going to be doing broadly over the course of the academic and competitive year. So you can see when the testing dates are, when exam dates are. You can see when they're going to be on rest, when they're going to be deloading, when they're going to be lifting heavy in accumulation blocks, when they're going to be lifting fast in transmutation blocks, and when they're going to be using transmutation in this sort of tapering and peaking periods. So that's kind of just an idea, is you can get an idea of what those athletes, what we kind of anticipate that they'll be doing over the course of the academic year. And then this top section is going to be the academic year, and this bottom is the summer. So you'll be able to see what your athletes will be doing during those periods. Now, on the left side, you can see the other channel. So in this channel now that we're on is called Coaching Science. And this Coaching Science channel is basically everything that you would probably want to know about the science of coaching, practice design, session design, motor skill acquisition, things like that. So there's a lot of different things on here in terms of enhancing athlete skill, both technically, tactically, and from a motor skill acquisition standpoint. And this is just a lot of kind of research. Some of it's a little more casual, like this YouTube video, approaches to skill acquisition at a foundational level. And some of it's definitely more research-based, like this ecological dynamics approach to skill acquisition. So there's a lot of different pieces in here, and you're more than welcome to peruse. I'd like to share. Would love to have y'all share in here as well, things that are working for you as a coach as you work to enhance the skill of your student athletes. The next channel is the health and performance research, and on here you're just going to see a bunch of other things that are not related to coaching, but more related to athlete health and athlete performance. So you can see some different stuff of pertaining to enhancing athlete performance over time. Sometimes it's long-term athlete development. Sometimes it's tapering and peaking. Sometimes it's the effect of aerobic exercise on sleep quality. So it can be a lot of different things here, but basically kind of another vehicle to share information about health and performance so we can enhance our outcomes. The next channel is Performance Science Assessment, and this is going to be everything related to the assessment of your student athletes. So up in the top is where you'll probably be directed for most of your information, but down here is largely an announcement vehicle, when testing is going to be, when we're signing up for testing, when the testing results are available after the kids test, things like that. But in the top here, you're going to see athlete assessment dashboard. So this is everything force plate related, and this dashboard, it comes with instructions right here. But the primary, if you want to watch the instructions or download the report or view your teams, you're more than welcome to do so. But the primary page that you're going to want to pay attention to here is this summary. And the video that's linked here in number 1, the report instructions, that is a summary of how to read this data, okay? And obviously, really happy to sit down and go over each one of your athletes with you in terms of interpreting this data and what does that mean and what are the implications for their ability to be ready to perform. The next one that you'll see is if you have a kid who is returning to sport, you'll see that this RTS dashboard is up and rocking and rolling. So you're going to see kids, this is definitely more of a left to right comparison, and provide some information relative to where those athletes are who are specifically coming off of a significant injury. Okay. The final one is really assessing the athlete's conditioning level. And this is their maximal aerobic speed dashboard. And the athletes use this for their programming on their conditioning, but also we can use it to evaluate their progress in terms of their conditioning levels. And so if we want to look at maybe a single athlete, we can just take Ashley, and you'll be able to see Ashley's progress over time, meaning that when she arrived in September, she was running at 3.72 meters per second, and in October, right before the season started, she was running at 4.08. So, it's an increase of about a third of a meter per second before she actually has to go aerobic. So, indicating a substantial increase in her aerobic abilities and her conditioning levels. So you can see that for each one of your athletes. Obviously, I recommend here that you make sure you check the HWAC indoor track so that the data is consistent, because athletes do update this during the summer, and they run an outdoor track, which makes the data a little skewed because of drag and weather conditions, etc. All right, and then the next one I get into is athlete monitoring, and this is where you're going to be looking at your athlete's day-to-day wellness and performance characteristics. And this is this is where I'll share some of the athlete monitoring, looking to really get this going off the ground here this year. And in the top, I've already put in a master dashboard. Now up here, this master dashboard has all the athletes. As we go here and I build out, you're just going to see a dashboard for your athletes up here. So you'll see an individual dashboards for each of the sports. You can just select your sport and only your athletes will come up. And this dashboard comes with both a team report and an individual report. So you'll be able to see, individual athletes, and then as well as a team synopsis of those athletes. And at the bottom, there's instructions on how to read this dashboard right here. You can download this report, and then obviously you can transition between dashboards. So if you want to go to the individual dashboard, you can do that either here or here. All right, and the final tab here is the weight room scheduling. And we're going to look at weight room scheduling. This kind of gives you an idea of some of the announcements, what the schedule is going to look like, if we're going to be out of town, things like that. Any changes in the schedule that we're going to want to know about will all be posted in here. You can see where this is finals week down here. At the top, though, is a weight room schedule. And the weight room schedule will always live right here, and you'll be able to see it just as long as you select the correct tab at the bottom. And so here we have the spring finish, but when we get going here, you're going to be looking at this fall start tab, and just make sure you hit fall start. So this transition is when teams overlap. This is when fall sports end and just winter sports are going. So you can just see kind of what that means and what the schedule is looking like when open lifts are, when athletes are in, and that is all available here for you at various times. And this will always be updated, and then a hard copy of this will be posted on the weight room door. So as we go, this is where you can find the weight room schedule and what's going on in the weight room in terms of that, and if any adjustments need to be made for you or your team's accommodations. All right, so that's kind of a gist of it. Of course, if you have any questions, please reach out and let me know. Happy to add to this, happy to take away from it. And obviously I realize that it is a living thing, and that changes will be happening over time, and I'll do my best to update as we go, and obviously taking your feedback into consideration as to how we want to do our very best to manage our athletes. All right, thank you.